My name is Luam Iyasu, and I'm a student at Northern Kentucky University studying visual arts and minoring in business. I'm a photographer. I do freelance photography in my spare time, and I'm heavily involved with community service and the arts community within Cincinnati. December 12th, we're planning to have an exhibition called 100 Dimtsi, which is based on a project that I did this summer with Eritrean youth in Eritrea. Eritrea is a country in the Horn of Africa in East Africa. It's a fairly new country, and they gained independence in 1991. So this is a way for me to bridge the gap between people in Africa and in the States and in the Western world pretty much, and to do it through artistic expression. I am first generation American. My parents were born in Eritrea and came here in the 80s. So that's my connection to Eritrea. All my family, everyone born before my mother and father are from Eritrea. And I don't get to go there too often. I've only been there twice. My first time was 2001 when I was 11. And so this was the second trip that I had to go towards Eritrea, and I wanted to do something with my time, not to just go on vacation and just to see family. I wanted to make use of the trip. So combining my love for photography and my love for youth and community service, I came up with a project, and that's why I was aimed towards Eritrea, because I wanted to do something to not only give back, but to connect people with Eritrea and people here. At the exhibition, we'll have photographs that were taken by the youth. There will be 100 images selected from the cameras that the youth used. And these images will be from 3 different cities within Eritrea, from Asmara, which is the capital city, Massawa, and Keren, which are all pretty different when it comes to environment and surroundings and community even. So you get a pretty good range as far as what Eritrea looks like as a whole, and to also see it through the youth's eyes. Asmara is the capital city. It's probably the most well-known city in Eritrea. It's more of an urban area. Downtown is all hustle and bustle, and it's very busy. Buses, people walking around in markets as well. So it's more of an urban area. You'll definitely see people dress more in the Western type of way with jeans and a t-shirt versus in the other cities. In Keren, it's more rural. Definitely the climate is different. It's warmer there, and there's more mountains that surround those areas, and people are usually dressed more traditionally. And then you'll also see lots of markets and people with tailor shops there as well. People are more, I think what I noticed was in Keren, people tend to be outside more than in Asmara also. Massawa is a city that's on the coast of the Red Sea, and it's very warm there. You don't really see people out during the day because it's so hot. So it's kind of like a reverse type of town where in a regular town you would see people out during the day, but then at night everyone would be inside. It's the total opposite there. So during the daytime it's quiet. You might see a few people here and there. As you can see in the photographs, they were taken during the day, so it's only about, I think, 6 people that they captured. And then at nighttime it's completely different. You know, it's very lively, people talking, people making coffee outside, eating and drinking outside. So it's a very interesting place, but I really love Massawa as well as the other 2 cities. But they're all very different in their own way. Working with the youth, I was introduced to a group called NUIS, which is located in Eritrea, and they have different branches in the different cities of Eritrea. So instead of going out and handing cameras to random children wherever I met them, it'd be more organized and guaranteed that I get the cameras back. So I linked up with NUIS, and what they did was, before I got there, they told the youth about the project and invited them to participate if they're interested. We met up on a date, and I had we would have an orientation on the first day, and then the second day we'd hand them the cameras and basically let them go out and photograph whatever they wish. So it was a fairly easy process and wasn't too much trouble getting into contact with the youth. The youth groups were from 5, I believe the youngest was 5 and the oldest was 18. A few of them had experience with cameras, but I don't think any of them have ever had experience with disposable cameras or film, more so digital if they have used a camera before. So I had to tell them, when you take a picture, you have to wind it every time. They're like, every single time I have to do it? So that was a new process to them, and actually having their own camera in their own possession to do as they please with it, I think that was the first experience for almost all of them. They kind of didn't know what to do at first. I think they were looking for more of guidelines towards what I was looking for, and they were kind of surprised that there was so much freedom to the project and they could really photograph anything they wanted. So what I did was I just made short guidelines for them. One was have fun, for sure, that's the first one. The second one was to at least take a self-portrait so I knew who took the photograph. And the third one was to photograph anything else you would like, whether it's the sky, a plant, your best friend, your mom, anything you'd like. So, and I think they definitely ran with it, and you can see that in the exhibition for sure. Seeing the self-portraits and how they were taken, some of them were out of frame and some were underexposed or in really awkward angles. It gave an interesting look into these kids and their own kind of world and kind of how they perceive it. So it was a nice way to see not only how they perceive themselves, but how they would photograph themselves. So it was nice to just kind of give them freedom to do that and see what they would make of it. For the self-portrait assignment, they thought that they shouldn't have done it. Some were just like, why? I'll photograph something else. But I told them the importance of it, and so people can see who's taking these portraits as well. And then they were a little shy about it at first, and so what they started to do was they would just hold up the camera in front of their face and say like this, is that how I'm supposed to do it? And then someone would have it flipped over the other way where the lens was facing out from them. And then I say, no, you gotta flip it around. And then they'll think about it, they'll move a little bit, and then they'll finally take the photograph. And then someone would go in their own little corner or go outside and do their own self-portrait so they wouldn't be in front of me. But at first they were a little shy, and then they just ran with it, as you can see. I had a really good experience with the youth. They were all really vibrant and very brilliant, funny kids, just had a lot of personality and made you feel comfortable. Were very curious and just intrigued with the whole photography process that we're doing. So they were all really just fun and awesome to work with. I had a really great time, and even though I worked with a lot of youth, there's no way I could forget any of them. They're all very special in their own way and stick out in my mind every time I think about them. I ended up meeting siblings. There were 4 siblings that were participating in the youth group in Keren, and they apparently were from the same village as my grandfather and were apparently neighbors of my grandfather, and they learned of this. And when I got back to Asmara, which is where I was staying in the capital, we exchanged numbers too. I gave my number and address to all the youth that I worked with so they can contact me or just email me if they wanted. But I ended up getting invited over for just to have a boon, which is a traditional coffee ceremony, or to eat. But I was welcomed by almost all the families. It was really overwhelming because I didn't think that they would be that receptive to it, maybe the youth, but not further than the youth into the families. But everyone was very open towards me and made me feel very welcomed and invited me to come back next year even. So it was a really great experience with their families. I learned that you can really do anything that you put your mind to, and even if it seems so out of reach it can happen, because this project literally happened within 5 months. I thought about it in January, and then I was off to Eritrea in May. We collected over 100 disposable cameras. We also did a collection where we were accepting donated art supplies and school supplies. So in addition to the cameras, we were giving them dictionaries and paintbrushes and crayons and things of that nature. So that was kind of a thank you to the youth for participating in the project. But I learned that a lot of people want to do something like this, but they don't know exactly how to. And it really just takes one person to kind of just throw it out there, and then everyone will just jump on board, because within the first day we raised $700 for the project, which is really great. So that instantly showed me that there is, a support group out there for this type of project, and people do want to see it become successful. So it really taught me that anything is possible, and to kind of just go with it. If it comes to you and it seems bigger than yourself and scary, but still go with it, because a lot of people want to see that become something that is successful. Well, at first I didn't know how much it would cost to fund this project, because I've never done anything like this in my life. But I figured as far as costs for shipping and printing the images, it would definitely be quite a bit, so I needed help when it came to financial. So what I did was I did crowdfunding, and I went on Indiegogo. Then I had an opportunity to speak at my university. We had an entrepreneurship award ceremony, and the entrepreneurship department led of the project invited me to come speak at this ceremony. There were about 500 people there. So it was my first time, again, speaking in front of people of that, with that scale, and it was really great. So a lot of people learned about it, and a lot of people donated towards the project after that. And then I learned of a fellowship through my university, and I ended up receiving that. So that funded half of the project, which was really great. So we got really lucky with community support and then the fellowship as well to help fund the project. The first time I went to Eritrea, I was 11 years old. So what I remember from there was just me running around and playing all day with my cousins, and that was really the only thing that I had to worry about, was just having fun. And as an adult now, going back to Eritrea, I realized that I should make use of my time and not just go and, it's nice to see family, but being Eritrean, especially Eritrean American, I feel some type of responsibility to give back, because our country has a lot of history in being self-reliant and a lot of pride when it comes to that. And I felt that even though I was born in America, I'm still Eritrean. I should still kind of answer that call to helping Eritrea. So this was my way of doing it, and even though it's just a photography project, I felt like kids could benefit from it, because it's a positive experience, and they may not end up being photographers in the end, but it's an experience that they can look back on and remember, and it was a positive thing that they were able to share with their peers, and hopefully that's like a stepping stone towards, a stable, positive mentality for them in the future. I'm really proud of them, and I don't think they really understand at this point how big this project is and how many people will actually see their images, because it won't just be exhibited in the States. We actually plan on taking it overseas to Europe in 2014. So it's going to be viewed on a large scale, and they will become known to these people, not just a kid in Eritrea, So I'm really hoping to, in the end, show them how much of an impact they are making on this globe through their photographs. I'm really hoping to build knowledge when it comes to cultural diversity and educate people about different countries they may have never heard about, the people that live there, and not only to see the differences that we have in culture and traditions, but to also see some sort of similarities as well, because that's what connects us as human beings. And I really want people just to walk away with this project and understand a little bit more about the world that they live in, and there's so many things to know about it, and hopefully they feel more confident about what they know about this world once they leave this exhibition.